Well, there's something you don't see every day. Ford has actually closed reservations for the F-150 Lightning due to the fact that they've quickly figured out there is far more demand than there is supply. So it seems like this is a running theme with most electric cars, but particularly electric pickup trucks. People want these things, okay? The ugly ones from the apocalypse and the traditional ones that look like they're 20 years old. People will buy a pickup if it's electric, and honestly, I found there surprisingly little changes between the traditional F-150 and the F-150 Lightning. But so many people have put reservations down, basically raising their hand saying, yes, I would like one. But Ford, before they closed reservations, said they were nearing 200,000, and sources from Electric are also saying that does not include fleet buyers. So the entry-level $40,000 F-150 Lightning, that was targeted at people buying these electric trucks for their businesses, which makes a lot of sense because the operating cost of an electric pickup is going to be far less. Not to mention the F-150 Pro is just an astoundingly good value. You even got me thinking about it a little bit, Ford, which is like, what the heck is wrong with me? But seriously, like $40,000 for a truck of that size. Granted, okay, the range is 230 miles, but you know, because they have to put a giant battery pack on that thing, and that's likely including a 1,000-pound payload, the actual range is likely going to be 250 or better, or something around that regard. But dual motor, all-wheel drive, you got that huge frunk that's about the size of a lot of sedans' trunks, plus the 5.5-foot bed, and you can charge it from home, and as long as you got an inverter, that thing can even power your house. It's freaking impressive how much they were able to pack into a price that low, and I have a very hard time believing that they're actually selling these things at a profit, but I guess a lot of us haven't seen the dealer markup quite yet, so once these things start showing up at dealers, we'll see how much extra they end up charging for them. But currently, the Ford CEO was hoping that they'd be able to build 80,000 F-150 Lightnings per year by 2024. Now seeing that they likely have well over 200,000 people interested in buying one, thankfully he's got his head in the right place and he's looking at how to increase production of batteries because they're going to need more and demand is far outweighing supply. So their current goal is to try to get to 160,000 Lightnings built a year, which is going to be quite a task if you consider that the F-150 is far larger and likely far less aerodynamic than the Mustang Mach-E, which also has kind of had a hard time ramping in production. For those who don't know, they've just barely crossed like 20,000 deliveries this year, and the production ramp has not been super exponential. You know, it kind of started fairly high. Chip shortage started impacting Ford, and that kind of slowed down production. And then, of course, a lot of these Mach-Es are still sitting at dealers. Not all of them are going straight to consumers. So they're struggling to build, 50, 80,000 Mach-Es a year, and those are going to be using less batteries overall than the F-150 Lightning is. And now the Lightning is at higher demand than the Mach-E. You need a crap ton of batteries for it, so I hope you can move on it quickly. If only there was another company out there showcasing how to rapidly produce massive amounts of batteries in a new cylindrical format with better chemistry that's rated to last 1,000,000 miles. I know, it just doesn't exist. Very frustrating, but I'm hoping Ford can catch up with this demand. I'm glad that they're taking the EV transition seriously. And what's funny is, despite what certain politicians think of GM leading the transition, Ford is actually kind of on track to beat GM in number of EV sales this year. I'm proud of them for actually putting their foot down and saying like, no, we're going to start delivering these F-150s in the spring. We're going to double production capacity, and we want to be the biggest EV maker in the world. You've got a long ways to go, Ford, but I admire your diligence, and I'm glad that you actually made a product this many people are interested in. I'm just hoping that the dealer markups don't make it unworthy for so many people out there, because the thing about the F-150 Lightning reservation page is that you don't get to configure your order. You basically just put $100 down and you say, I'm interested in a Lightning of some kind, and I'd like to know how many of these reservations are people going for the cheapest, $40,000 F-150 Pro, and how many of those are actually going to be built, when production starts in the spring. Are you just going to start with the Lariat and the Platinum models, and people are going to have to buy, the $80,000 or $90,000 versions, and then the $40,000 version doesn't even come out for another year or two. Either way, it says a lot about what the true issue with electric vehicles are. There's no Tesla killers, there's no Ford killers. There's people that want all kinds of electric vehicles that basically will take any design they can as long as they have the lower operating costs, the insane torque, the insane acceleration, and all the benefits that electric has to offer. Hopefully Ford and Tesla can figure out that battery production really is the key to everything, and seeing Ford know that they they can sell pretty much every F-150 they can make is a positive side of the demand is there and people are convinced, okay? We've got large numbers of people ready to drop serious money on electric pickups and, of course, crossovers and sedans of all kinds. So do you guys out there actually think Ford can keep up with this demand, or do you think the demand will shy away when other electric pickups become available on the market? In which case I ask, what electric trucks out there do you think can undercut the F-150 Lightning's pricing, which I think is actually the best thing it has going for it right now. Feel free to let me know what you're thinking down in the comments below. Thank you to everyone supporting me on Patreon, helping me afford my own EV. Seriously, it means a lot, and to everyone else, I appreciate you just for watching. That helps too. Take care, everyone, and have a great day.